call sales. And whether it was a competitive sport, and we don't really want to look at it that way, because we don't want to look at it like we're trying to crush or kill our competition, so to speak, because I don't want to promote that type of culture in the trades, certainly, as I even help some of our own competitors out. To a point, I'm not giving away our technicians or clients or anything like that, but I do believe that, the Starbucks Effect was a great book, and it's about how Starbucks would come into town and a lot of these little coffee companies would shut down and they would just take over. But the ones that didn't, they all of a sudden started buying better coffee and serving their clients 1,000 times better and redoing their buildings and making it a nicer place to sit and hang out. And the effect that Starbucks had on its competition was to bring the level of customer service up everywhere they went. And I do believe that's possible for us here in whatever market we're in. And I'm definitely pro that whole model. So I help people everywhere I'm at, even if it's competitors, again, to a point. The other thing is, and this is wide open, so anybody can zoom in. And then, as I told you, we will record this, we will edit it, and then I'll post it in the group. And anyone can watch it, including people in our market and all of your markets who are on the show. The other part of that is to some point, like, good luck with it, right? It's not for everybody. And the reason I wanted to have this conversation and give kudos to the people who are on this call is, yes, sales, home services, competitive sport. We do this for a living. So we play this sport professionally. If you're in here training voluntarily, if you don't have to be on this call and you're on this call, if you're watching this later in Facebook or YouTube or whatever, you're listening to Waste No Day, you're checking out Shreya's podcast, Born for the Trades, certainly. All the other ones like Close It Now and Masters of the Hustle, these sales communication podcasts, and you're checking out audiobooks and YouTube videos on how to get better. You're taking this professionally. And I do believe that because if you go online in some of the groups and you hear technicians talk or you read their comments, man, nobody wants to buy because of the election coming up. We actually got this objection yesterday, and our team was like, that's new. I'm like, no, that's not new. That's all you hear right now in the space is like everybody getting crushed by this objection. And then all of the regular ones, well, nobody wants to buy because of the economy and blah, 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 blah. And they get on and they complain about it. But very few people ask how to overcome it. And it shows you that our competition, wherever you're at, is weak and soft and not interested in training and not interested in being better. That everybody wants to be better, but nobody really wants to work for it. As Ronnie Coleman, the old bodybuilder, said, everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but nobody wants to lift heavy ass weight. And if you're going to be at the top echelon of a tech or a team in this industry, you're going to have to lift some heavy ass weight. And that's going to look like what you're filling your head with between calls. And when you get an objection, whether you sit down with pen and paper and you figure it out yourself, or what you can do now that wasn't really around when I started in this line of work in the early 2000s, is you can hit somebody up. You can just ask somebody on this call, one of the trainers here, they always put their freaking cell phone number in the group, which to me is like, that alone is just worth this hour. And you can hit somebody up and say, I'm struggling with this election objection. I'm not qualifying that for the most part with the rebuttal. I'm not doing it. Like if I'm in the home, like, look, no matter who wins, they've both been president before, and you still needed cool air in Phoenix, right? Right. So what difference does it make? Like, knock it off with that. It's going to be tough for me to even want to overcome that objection. I'm probably just going to laugh at it and go, yeah, but you're still going to need hot water regardless of who wins. So let's go. So, but getting involved where you can ask for actual help with that, not just throw a complaint out like, this guy said this, is what that heavy work looks like. And that's probably the lighter part of it. That's just loading the plates on the bar. When it comes to lifting it, now it's, what am I doing with that information? And what you need to do with that information is what we do with that information. We write an objection on the board. We either use one of the rebuttals that I have already memorized, or we break it down and say, let's come up with a different one that works more for this market or this time right now, because it is a weird time. So you then lift that weight by role playing it, memorizing it. We talked yesterday about this where we have notes and, I'm chaotic by nature. So like I'll start a meeting today and then do part 2 of that meeting 17 weeks from now and nobody will have any idea. Like it's kind of all over the place. But I said, if you want to be impervious to my chaos, you have one notepad and all you put on that notepad is objections and rebuttals and you carry it with you. So if we decide to do that halfway through a meeting on a Tuesday, you pop that thing open, you write the objection down, you write the rebuttal, and you go to work on it. That's lifting the heavy weight. And then not dropping it on yourself when you're done with the set and putting it back on the rack. That's going to use it in front of the client. That's when you actually get in front of the client and let's go. Because that's also a hard part. It's great to role play it in front of the team and have some fun and get some kudos, but it doesn't make it that much easier to go to the client's house and actually try to overcome some objections. You've got to really be disciplined in that point.